Hello, everyone who is joining us today, and a warm welcome to today's live stream, which is aimed for native Portuguese speakers. Today, we will help you to identify some of the most common mistakes in English that you might be making and help you to speak more accurately and confidently. We will also have some tips on your pronunciation in English. Perhaps you're joining us from Sao Paolo, or from Rio de Janeiro, or from Fortaleza, or Belo Horizonte, or Curitiba, or I'm trying to pronounce it correctly, Recife, if you're in Brazil, or from Lisbon or Porto, if you're in Portugal. Share with us what country and city are you joining us from in this live chat next to the video. And please continue sharing your comments and the questions throughout the video. We're very happy to see you here, and we know that due to COVID-19, there's a difficult situation in your countries, and we hope that today's live stream will make your day a bit more positive, a bit happier, and ultimately will help you to learn English. My name is Olga, and I'm part of the London School of English team. We will have about 30 minutes of the main part of the live stream, and then 10 to 15 minutes for questions from you. But if you have questions, please write in the live chat at any point and we will see it. If you want to contact us after the live stream, or for example, with questions about English language or English language courses in virtual groups or face-to-face, then you can do it via our site, londonschool.com, or email clients@londonschool.com, which we will show just a little bit later. And I'm delighted today to introduce two of my colleagues, Douglas Nakaya, who some of you may have already known from the previous live stream on English, on confidence in spoken English. And Douglas is one of our expert English language trainers, and it's a pleasure to have him back on the live stream today. And I'm also introducing you Faiza Afzal, whom again you have probably seen from some of the live streams. And so she's joining us from our client services team, and she can help you with any questions related to general business or legal English courses. Now, hello, Faiza and Douglas, and welcome to the live stream.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Olga. Good to see everyone.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Welcome. Well, hi and welcome to another live stream. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing great. Firstly, I'd like to let you all know I'm so happy to be doing this live stream today, as we'll be talking about something that's very close to my heart, mistakes made by native Portuguese speakers. Well, so for those of you who don't know me, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Douglas. I was born in Sao Paolo, Brazil. So yes, I can speak Portuguese. I've been teaching English to students from all around the globe for the past 17 years. And for the last 3 years, I have spent at the London School of English with some amazing people. And Faiza, over to you now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the intro, Douglas. My name is Faiza, and I work as part of the client services team here at the London School of English. I support our clients with finding the right course for them, and it's great to see some familiar faces that are joining us from the live stream. Good to see you again, Frank and Tanya, too. We have clients from all over the world, and many of them join us from Brazil, from Portugal, and so that's why we put together this live stream for you guys. And yeah, we hope that you enjoyed the session. A little bit about me. I grew up in the Middle East. I've studied in the UK, and I'm from Canada. And I've been living in the UK for the last 5 years and working at the London School for the last 4. So if you have any questions at all, you can contact us at clients@londonschool.com, and we would be very happy to help you. And now I will pass you back to Douglas so he can take care of you for the next half an hour.
Thanks, Faiza. Thank you. Good to see you again, Tanya. Hello. Very well. Okay, so let's get started. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm very excited about this live stream, about this one in particular, because as a Portuguese speaker myself, I feel like I can understand your challenges and understand where you're coming from in terms of learning English. And I believe I might be able to help and help you become a better user of the English language. And for all the other nationalities here with us today, please do stick around, as you might find some of this to be quite helpful and interesting as well. Okay, so in the first part of this video, I'll share with you some mistakes that you might not be aware of, both grammatically and pronunciation. As you may remember from a previous video, mistakes are our friends. We learn from them. We've established that already. And once we've raised awareness to these mistakes, we can kiss them goodbye. And this is the purpose of this video. Kiss those annoying errors goodbye. Yeah. Well, a lot of the somebody from Recife. Okay, so a lot of the mistakes we'll be talking about here stem from your first language. They originate in your mother tongue. In this instance, Portuguese. We'll talk some more about this as we go along. Well, so first error we're kissing goodbye today is hiding your pronouns. Don't hide your pronouns. Well, what does that mean? Here's an example. So if I asked you, do you like coffee? And let's say coffee is your favorite thing in the morning. So you say, eu adoro. Yeah? And you say, I love. That's a very common mistake to make in English. Because in Portuguese, you wouldn't use a pronoun in this instance. It seems only natural that you wouldn't in English either. So that's a very, very common mistake, but no. You have to say it. You have to say it. So I love it. Is that a mistake you make? Let us know. Well, another typical mistake made by Portuguese speakers, and also some other nationalities, in fact, is mistaking the verb have for the verb there to be. So, for example, in Portuguese, you could use the same verb to mean existence or possession. The verb in Portuguese is the verb ter or ter, as people from Rio would say it. The thing is, in English, there are two different verbs designated for these two different meanings. Have, meaning to possess, and there, to be, meaning to exist. So in practical terms, how would you say in English, eu tenho uma casa na praia? That's right. I have a house on the beach. Easy peasy. Well, but how would you say, tem alguém batendo na porta? There is someone knocking on the door is the correct form. Have someone knocking on the door would be a mistake. Very well, so watch out for this one. Have is different from there plus be. Another mistake I often hear, and it's also an example of a direct translation problem, a translation problem, is this. They don't know nothing about this, for example. Can you spot the error? They don't know nothing about this. Yeah, so it's the double negative. In Portuguese, not a problem. But in English, no. We're not supposed to use two negative words together. So when we have negative nouns in a sentence, such as nothing, nowhere, nobody. We have to be careful so that the verb in the sentence is not being negated. They don't know anything is correct. Or, if you prefer, they know nothing. Only one negative word in each instance. So you can kiss that one goodbye too. Very well. Another tricky one is the verb do and make. Well, it's often confusing. It's often confusing to many nationalities, this one. As I mentioned before, this mistake also happens because of interference of your first language. Both verbs, do and make, translate in a very similar way in Portuguese, but they have very distinct uses in English. Unfortunately for this one, there's no easy way out. There's no magic trick. You just have to try and remember when to use do and when to use make. And here's an example of the verb make, which translates as fazer in Portuguese. So, I made many friends on my trip to London last year. There we go. And here's another example. This time, the verb is do, which also translates as fazer. I did everything I could to help her. There we go. So, for more information on the uses of do and make, please check out the link that's going to be made available for you on here. Very well. Now, the next one, yeah, there we go. The next one is like kryptonite to native Portuguese speakers. It's very embarrassing, but also very funny. Push and pull. Yes, so how many here have ever got confused by these two words when entering or leaving a shop? Yeah, just about 100% of us, right? Yeah, so, oh yeah, okay, well, sorry, getting distracted. So remember, push is a false friend. Actually, it's more like an enemy. Push means empurrar, not puxar. And conversely, pull means puxar, not empurrar. If that's not easy to remember, just try whatever the other option is, and you'll be fine. Now, time to tackle some pronunciation problems. First one I can think of is those silent letters. In Portuguese, we tend to say every letter in a word, but in English, not so much. So, words like salmon, almond, or walk have something in common. What is it? Have a look. Exactly, the silent L. So not walk or salmon or calm. No. Walk, salmon. Some other examples might include calm, doubt, receipt, lamb, climb. Try it. Walk, salmon, calm, doubt, receipt, lamb, climb. Very well. Often the K in the beginning of words will be silent as well. So for example, knee, knife, no. So not knee or knife. Words with a P, like psychology or pseudo or cupboard, or raspberry. So check out the link showing on your screen, should be coming up here, for a cute short video and some practice. There we go. Okay, another interesting thing in terms of pronunciation for a native Portuguese speaker is the way we pronounce words ending in M. They sound a lot like an N to English speakers. Well, I'll explain. Try saying these two words showing on your screen. Yeah. If they sound the same way, that's probably because you're not pronouncing your M right. So to pronounce this M, our lower lip and our upper lip should touch when pronouncing words ending in M. So for example, scream. Yeah, the other one is screen. This first one here, scream. Right? Some other examples. So Instagram, for example. Yeah. Hello, Arnaldo. Well, let's try some simple sentences. Yeah, they'll be coming up here on your screen soon. So first one, I heard a scream when I looked at the screen. Just want you to focus on this word here, scream and screen. Yeah, they're different. They don't sound the same. Or another one, next one, my gran is on Instagram. Gran, Instagram. Yeah, you see how your lips touch? Next one, Pam wanted to be a nun. That's it. And let's not forget, of course, that dreaded digraph. Yeah, the TH sound. But hey, don't beat yourself up about this one, okay? For one very simple reason. We don't have this sound in Portuguese. So basically, the TH sound has two variations. Let's look at them a little bit closer. The first one is represented by this phoneme showing on your screen. And we can hear it in words such as thanks and both. Well, to make this sound, you should stick your tongue out just a little bit and blow some air between your tongue and your teeth, like this. Notice that there is no voice here. It's a voiceless sound, meaning it's just air coming out. There's no vibration in your vocal cords. Thanks. Both. You try it. Thanks. Both. Now try this. Arthur thinks my birthday is on Thursday. It'll come up here any minute. There we go. Arthur thinks my birthday is on Thursday. Can you do it? Arthur thinks my birthday is on Thursday. Very well. Okay. The other variant is represented by this phoneme showing here. And we can hear this one in words such as mother or weather. Again, for this sound, your tongue should stick out a little bit, but notice that this time there is no voice. This time there is voice from your throat. There is vibration. Yeah, you try. Like a bee, but with a lisp. Yeah. Let's try this. In this lovely weather, my mother and father sunbathed together. In this lovely weather, my mother and father sunbathed together. Can you do it? Very well. Okay. Yeah, it's a tricky one, Danielle. It's a tricky one. Okay. One last thing. In Portuguese, not too many words will end in a consonant sound. It's very, very unusual, isn't it? And this is so ingrained in our heads to a point where it's difficult sometimes to say words like stop or hot dog or seat, make, and not. Brazilian Portuguese speakers will probably say something like stoppy or hot doggy or sichi, makey, notchy. Yeah. Remember, there's no need for that cheeky extra vowel sound at the end. Okay. So let's try. Stop. Stop. Hot dog. Seat. Yeah. Make. Not. Very well. Well, becoming familiar with the sounds that there are in the English language will certainly help you with those distracting little mistakes. You can download a phonemic chart, and I recommend you do that. So on your phone, try the British Council phonemic chart. So try it's called Sounds Right. So try that. You can hear all the phonemes. So just like the two ones that I presented to you, and you can hear them as you tap them. It's a lot of fun. So try that. It's free. Very well. Okay. I'd like to hear from you now. Have you got any questions for me? Any interesting story you'd like to share with us? Please let us know, as I'll be taking your questions next.
I've got one. I've got something for you as well, Douglas. Not just when you were talking about the push and the pull, with the fact that the words are different. My problem is actually in the action itself, because in North America, you open doors in a different way from in the UK.
So we're all in
So when I actually leave, I'm often kind of fighting with the door because I think I should be pulling when I should be pushing. So it's just funny.
We're all in this together. We're only humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well. Yeah, because it's quite confusing for native Portuguese speakers, because the thing is, push sounds a lot like pushy, which means pull.
Okay.
In Portuguese, so it's very confusing, and I often find myself going, hang on.
Yep.
So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Faiza, you've been to a Portuguese speaking country recently, haven't you?
Yeah. So
what was the experience like?
It was very good. So I'd visited Lisbon, and I'd never been before, and it's a very beautiful place. The food was delicious, so I ate a lot. And then also one of the things I like to do when I travel is go on walking tours. So it was nice to then hear from local people about their cultures. And I actually went to a fado for the first time, the concerts that they have in the evenings. And that was a very beautiful experience, because I got to hear the language, but in song and not just in spoken.
I love fado.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So it moves me. It moves me every time. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. That was a great experience. And then I think what I also realized is, because we have so many of our clients that come from Brazil, that there's a difference in the Portuguese in terms of how it sounds. So like from somebody who's from Portugal or from somebody who's from Brazil. So that was interesting to be able to slightly hear a little bit of the difference.
Yeah, it is. Even to Brazilians, that's quite it sounds very alien to us as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite different. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much again, Douglas, for this very useful tips on pronunciation and accuracy in English for native Portuguese speakers. But we also have many more people joining us from different countries, including Japan, some of our alumni from Japan, which we've seen on screen, and then also from different other countries like Hong Kong and Ukraine and Poland. So it's good to see you, and also Luxembourg as well. So it's good to see you here. So, and I can see that some of the questions and some of the challenges in English are actually quite similar across different countries and across the board. So one of the questions that came up during live stream was from Saif Ghazali to shed some light on British intonation. And I guess, as you mentioned when talking with Faiza at the moment, that even intonation, for example, for people from Brazil or from people from Portugal in English might be different, or depending which country they're from, even if it's the same language sometimes, because tonality would be quite different, and it, of course, is reflected in English. So could you tell a little bit more about your advice on this?
Yeah, thanks for the question. And yes, so British intonation. What I can say is that it is different from American English, of course, in that British English is a non-rhotic language. So in other words, words like car, for example, is pronounced. You can't really hear the R, the R sound. Say car. Yeah, we sort of elongate the vowel sound car. Whereas in America, it will probably sound something like car, or in Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'd say car.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
Yeah. So for a lot of words ending in R, we can't hear that R sound. For instance, this is just something that I can think of. Except, of course, when you're connecting sounds, when you're linking sounds together. So say for example, car, you can't hear the R, can you? But if the next word next to car starts with a vowel sound, then you can. So this is my car, but my car is blue, or my car is black, and now you can hear it. You see, so this is something that happens in connected speech. This is the linking R, as we call it. But yes, if you want to practice that sort of stuff, then I would recommend you to try and listen to a lot of British English, and just try and get more familiar with the sounds.
Yeah. In fact, we have some people who are originally from Brazil but who now live in London. Like this is a recent comment from Andrea Velosa Clark. It would be interesting, Andrea, to hear your experience on speaking English here in the very British city. So please share with us in the live chat. And if you have any more questions, then of course write to us. Write them in the live chat, or you can contact us after the live stream on this email that we're showing here. Yeah. So,
I think we were also mentioning kind of before the session began that there are some languages that have similar pronunciation tips that I think you were mentioning, Douglas. So I see that Frank has mentioned that, some of those sounds you also experience in French, and kind of like the Romance languages, I think you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the things we talked about in this video is shared with if you speak Italian or French, maybe Spanish, or even Romanian. So, or the Romance languages. So you might find some of this to be quite helpful, actually.
Yeah, that's great. We've got. Please do write your questions in the live chat, but we've pretty much covered the main tips and advice for native Portuguese speakers, but also for people from other countries. So maybe both Douglas, do you have any other things that you would want to add before we wrap up our live stream? And also Faiza, I know that you've got a lot to add in terms of also how people can continue learning English, for example, if they want to learn with the trainers or work on specific mistakes in their pronunciation or inaccuracy of English. So I can also hear that we've got some very typical London sound. This is how you know that we're streaming to you from London. One of the sirens, but we're hoping that this is that this is all okay for whoever is using the siren, of course.
Yep.
And
well, there's a fun fact I think I know that in North America the sirens are red, but in England they're blue, so the lights are different. And I only found that out a few years ago, so that was good to know. I can, Olga, if you want, I can tell a little bit. As we said, we have various courses that are available if you want to continue learning your English. We're delivering these virtual group courses in different topics such as general English, business English, IELTS exam preparation, legal English as well. So those are 3 hours per day. We have different time zones as well, so you can join us for that if you want to practice learning English in groups. And then we also have one-to-one training if you need to focus on anything in particular. And yeah, there's a website. Click over there and you'll find all the course information, or you can contact us at clients@londonschool.com.
There's one more thing that I'd like to add to the discussion of Portuguese speakers, but not only Portuguese speakers, but also Spanish speakers or French, Italian speakers, is pay attention to the music or the rhythm of the language, of the English language, because as I mentioned in the video, we carry a lot of what we know and a lot of what there's a lot of interference of our first language when we learn a second language. We sort of transfer a lot of that into the language we're trying to learn. So my advice would be pay attention to the music, the rhythm, and try and copy that rhythm. We call it intonation. So pay attention to the way it sounds. When you speak English with the same rhythm or the same music you would your native language, your first language, it's you're still communicating, but there's something that's odd about it. So try and pay attention to that. A good way to get around that sort of problem is shadowing. We've talked about shadowing in a different video, and that can help you. Are we familiar with the strategy shadowing? So that's basically when you listen to people, native speakers preferably, and we copy. So for that you would need a script or the transcript of a video, and as people say things, you try and say it along, like just try and repeat basically what people say, and try and stick to the rhythm, to that same music, the same intonation, and that should help you with intonation as well. Yes, that's right, Matheus. I am from Brazil. I was born in Sao Paolo, and you're right, Kaguya Sato. I am Brazilian Japanese, so 50-50. I actually spent a good chunk of time in Japan. I lived in Japan for about 10 years when I was younger. So yes.
Yeah, very, very interesting questions from our audience, and I guess it just shows how international we all are, and it's great to have people from different countries.
2 a.m. in Japan.
Yeah.
So thanks, Kaguya Sato, for joining us. Yeah, such an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Just one more question. I think we all
karaoke.
Time for
exactly
for more.
Frank.
So Douglas, we've got a question about from Felipe Trevisi about SVO, which is I think is subject
verb object.
Yeah. So
what exactly, Felipe, would you like to know about this? Yeah, if you could elaborate on that, that'd be great, because I'm not. Yeah.
It's probably one of those big questions that we cannot entirely answer in one, just as part of the question and answer session. So this is something that we can potentially look at as part of other live streams. But I can see that Felipe is basically has a problem on how to remember the right combination. So maybe there are some tips to just help him remember. I guess any tips related to the word or the structure in English. But again, big question.
Yeah, if Felipe could elaborate on the be more specific as to what he means by that, I guess that'd be helpful. So yeah, or yeah, just write us an email and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Just try and elaborate on that, please. And I will get back to you.
Yeah. So
any more questions?
We don't seem to have any more questions, but there are different ways to get in touch with us. If you have questions that are related to English language, for example, the question that we just got about SVO, then you can write them and just elaborate them a little bit more in the comments next to this video, because those comments would be available for you even after the video as the actual live stream has finished, and then we'll just reply to them so that we can we can share it with other people who might have the same problem. But you can also contact us on our email and also via our website londonschool.com. And yeah, basically Felipe has just replied saying that he's got a problem with SVO or subject verb object when he forgets the subject, because
I see what he means. Yeah,
always use it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Felipe. Yeah. So in Portuguese, it's common to not include the subject. So we would jump straight to the verb sometimes, but perhaps Felipe is referring to something we call in Portuguese we'll call it sujeito oculto. Well, in English that's not the case. So you have to mention the subject at all times. So it doesn't quite work the same way, Felipe. Does that answer your question? So yeah, just remember to include the subject. Yeah.
Great.
That's what he's
Thank
referring
you.
to, I suppose.
Thank you, Douglas, and thank you, Faiza, and also big thank you to our audience, to people who join us from different countries in the world. Some of you even during at night. Give yourself a big clap and thumbs up, and it's very impressive. So thanks for your participation, for your comments, for your questions. If you have more, get in touch with us. And just before wrapping up this event, we would also like to mention that we have another event coming up on Thursday. Douglas, would you like to mention
Yes.
A little bit more?
Right. So, guys, make sure to join us next Thursday for some really, really good tips on how to prepare for your IELTS exam. So you might be considering going abroad to study or work, and IELTS is the exam you need to prepare for. So make sure to join us, and I will be here, and I'll share with you lots of really good, really interesting information, really interesting tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank you all for joining us today. I hope you found this to be interesting, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, Faiza.
Yeah, no, thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of days for the IELTS one. It's a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
So IELTS would be IELTS live stream would be this week. It's on 4th of June, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. UK time, as you can see on the screen. So thank you, and
sorry.
Yes.
Just one quick one. So Diana Brito is joining us, and she's got a question. Is there some trick to memorize new words? Is there any conversation app that you recommend? Thanks for your question, Diana, and thanks for joining today. Yeah, so we'll actually be talking about this on Thursday, but just a heads up, we call it a lexical notebook, Diana. So what you want to do is you want to keep a notebook and record every piece of new vocabulary or phrases, part of speech and all that, and that will help you. We'll talk some more about what a lexical notebook is on Thursday. So please join us on Thursday. Conversation app. I'm not really aware of a conversation app per se. Guys, any ideas on a?
I'm just aware that we need to be wrapping up at the moment.
Okay.
But I guess what we can do is suggest to refer back to some of our previous live streams.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're thinking about pronunciation and hearing what things should sound like, I think we'd mentioned in one of our previous webinars, the London School Online platform we have has sections in each of the topics where you can listen to somebody read something, and then you can record yourself and compare the two. But you also have the ability to listen to something slowly. So I think I've been guilty of speaking too quickly at times during this live stream. So with that app, you can slow me down, or whoever it is you're listening to. But yeah, that's something we can recommend.
Yeah, lots of good recommendations. So thank you, everyone, and Stay safe, stay well, and keep learning English. And until Thursday, and until next time.
Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands.
Take care, everybody.
Till next time. Bye.